All right, I'm starting the meeting at 7:04 on the 9th of March. And we will have the flag salute led by, how about Dan Allen back from Florida? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in the Beach Haven Municipal Building and mailing the same to the Beach Haven Times, the Asbury Park Press, and Crescent Atlantic City. Mr. Allen.
Here.
Mrs. Bellmiller.
Here.
Mr. Lynch.
Here.
Mr. Maskell. Mayor Davis.
Here.
Cash receipts in the current fund account for the period of February 1, 2020 to February 29, 2020 were $2,919,400.54. Cash disbursement in the current fund account for the month of February totaled $1,964,481.78. Cash balance in the current fund account as of this period totaled $14,104,227.29. Cash receipts in the water utility account for the period of February 1, 2020 to February 29, 2020 were $92,929.83. Cash disbursements in the water utility account for the month of February 2020 totaled $187,623.03. And the cash balance in the water utility account as of February 29th was $3,877,191.24, submitted by our treasurer, Sherry Goldberg.
Thank you.
I have minutes of January 30th, 2020 agenda meeting, February 18th, 2020 special meeting, and February 25th, 2020 agenda meeting.
Has everybody read the minutes? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. I skipped real quick over the 2020 Community Development Block Grant. At the February meeting, we discussed some ideas from the public regarding the Community Development Block Grant application for 2020. There were some ideas suggested from the public. The borough has decided to commit to an application for sidewalks at Taylor Avenue and to make some curb cuts along Bay Avenue downtown, ADA compliant. Any discussions about that?
I think it's great we're making these curb cuts. We really do need to address some of these. It is a mess. And I know we've had that sidewalk on Taylor Avenue. We've been talking about that for years. So it's nice we can get that done.
Also mentioned that we were listening to the suggestions that people gave about the railings at the beach, but that would not qualify for that type of grant. So we did look into it, but it did not qualify for that grant. So that would be something that we would have to look into for another type of grant or some other type of funding in the future.
Public Works will still continue to add some of the white, plastic. I'm anti-plastic right now, but the white plastic railings along in specific. We've been slowly doing this on the beaches that are heavily used, so that eventually all the beaches, it should be easier for people that need to hold on to something to get down the beach. I've suggested that people wear garden gloves. The beach end doesn't have the plastic railings, because you can get splinters. There's a lot of railings. So that's good.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make application for the Community Development Block Grant for that purpose. Thank you.
Okay.
Ordinance 2020-02C, an ordinance amending Chapter 13, First Aid Squad of the Code of Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to require member background checks be conducted by the Beach Haven First Aid Squad. Final reading.
This is final reading, so it's open to the public. Would anybody like to come forward and speak to this ordinance? No, so therefore I close the floor, and we have a motion to approve ordinance 02C.
Motion to
approve.
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Bellmiller?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-03C, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 212-20H, General Regulations of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, correcting inconsistencies within the chapter. This is to be presented today for final reading. I would like to request the council consider carrying this to the April meeting to allow for review by the land use board before we consider for final reading.
I think that's a good idea. Is there a motion to?
Second.
Right? All right, so Nancy, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Ordinance 2020-04C, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 27, Personnel, Article 2, Personnel Policies of the Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to include a domestic violence policy and to update the continuing education policy. Final reading.
Would anybody like to come forth and speak to this ordinance? No? Then I close the floor. Is there a motion to approve the domestic violence?
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Bellmiller?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-05C, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 74, Construction Codes Uniform of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to include regulations for bulkhead installation. First reading.
This is a first reading, so it's not open to the public, but does anybody on council have any questions? We did hold off on this ordinance, and Dan had some concerns, and I think we have addressed those. Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Bellmiller?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes, Dan, you're okay? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay?
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-06, an ordinance granting renewal of municipal consent to Comcast of Long Beach Island LLC to construct, connect, operate, and maintain a cable television and communications system in the municipality of Beach Haven, Ocean County, New Jersey. First reading.
Anybody have any questions about this? Is there a motion to approve it?
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Bellmiller?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
All matters listed under item consent agenda are considered to be routine by the municipal council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds, and any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Resolution 60, amending the shared service agreement for construction code enforcement services 2020, Schedule C. 61, authorizing a sidebar agreement with Teamsters Local Number 35. 62, updating the Emergency Management Council. 63, canceling and refunding taxes due to appeal. 64, certifying the 2019 fire company LoSAP list of eligibles. 65, certifying the 2019 First Aid Squad LoSAP list of eligibles. 66, returning remaining escrow. 68, returning piling bonds. 69, authorizing a refund of tax overpayment. Resolution 70 is rescinding and replacing Resolution 26, 2020, appointing Matt Palmer as tax collector. 71, returning dumpster bond. 72, acknowledging an appointment to the Sewerage Authority Board. 73, naming an authorized signatory for certified lists of 200-foot radius. 74, awarding a contract to Mitchell Humphreys for construction permitting software. 75, executing a contract with Stockton's Coastal Research Center for creation of a watershed management plan. 76, form of emergency temporary appropriation resolution prior to adoption of the budget. 77, amending a professional service agreement with Serenian and Associates LLC as COA counsel to recognize a new firm name. 78, authorizing the Borough of Beach Haven to participate in the 2020 National Priority Safety Program. 79, approving change order number 1 dated March 3rd, 2020 for the 2020 fire hydrant replacement project. 80, awarding a contract to Shore Top Construction for the 2020 tennis court reconstruction. 81, permitting sidewalk sales. 82 is declaring an emergency for water plant repairs. And 83 is approving amusement licenses for Fantasy Island.
I have to remove resolution number 75 from the consent agenda because I cannot vote on this because I'm involved with Stockton. Is there anybody else who wants to remove any specific resolution? Anybody in council?
I just have a question about 82.
Yes.
Is that coming out of the water utility account, or is that coming out of?
No, it is coming out of the water utility
Okay.
account, and we did have to make a tweak to the new emergency, the temporary budget that's on this meeting too, to accommodate for that. But we did get a certification from Frank that it was an emergency, and we have already taken care of it. And you'll see that in the emergency temporary appropriation as well.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions or any specific resolutions? Okay. So I guess right now we're voting on all these resolutions except for number 75.
Correct.
Is there a motion to approve all the resolutions except for 75?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Allen.
Yes.
Mrs. Baumeller.
Yes.
Mr. Lynch.
Yes.
Mr. Maskell.
Yes.
Mayor Davis.
Yes.
And then Resolution 75, 2020, executing a contract with Stockton's Coastal Research Center for creation of a watershed management plan.
Is there a motion to approve?
Are we approving that, or are we tabling it? or-
No,
You're
we shall-
approving.
I just can't vote on this. The
Motion
rest of it is voting.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Baumeller?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. Oh, I can't vote on it.
Take your vote back.
Take my vote back.
All right,
Sorry.
thank you.
You abstain, correct?
Abstain, yeah.
Clearly. Okay, I have a bill list this evening in the amount of $1,074,203.94.
That was a big one, huh? But they were all things like school board.
Yeah, taxes.
Yeah. Motion to approve a lot of medical.
Are you motioning? Are you asking for a motion?
Yes, I'm asking for a motion.
Okay.
A motion to approve the bills?
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Baumeller?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Before we open the floor for public comment, I see Mr. Wainwright is in the audience. Again, we have a full council tonight. We'd like to come back up and talk to the council and at least try to get a consensus before you go ahead and apply for your permits with the Coast Guard, et cetera.
You guys hired me yet? Brian Wainwright, 209 Christine Ave. So the purpose of being here tonight is just to gauge everybody's feelings about adding fireworks for 2020. Just a repeat of last meeting. I had applied or asked for roughly 11 shows last year at the beginning. I've done all the work in advance, not really understanding completely the whole process of getting the approval. My request this year is to consider 6 dates, April 11th, May 24th, June 19th, September 6th, October 10, and 12/31.
Can you repeat those again?
Sure, I'm sorry. April 11th, May 24th, June 19th, September 6th, October 10th, and December 31st. My intention is just to get everybody's take on it before we go through the process of applying to the Coast Guard and the FAA and getting all the clearances just in advance.
Did you look into the Walt Disney fireworks?
Yes, they do have a lock on it. But my limited understanding is that the chemical that Jamie referenced is, yeah, provides the color in the fireworks. The launching agent from our fireworks company is actually all black powder. So even if we launched them with air, it would still be the same chemical providing the color. And I'm not a
Yeah, it's
chemist.
not the color, it's the oxidizing agent, so it provides the spark. Like everything, you have gunpowder, but the oxidizing agent, or the Disney fireworks are compressed air. So they're still sparking, but it's like a gas versus a powder, and they're not using the,
Science was never my thing.
I'm sorry.
Math, I just really love.
Brian, can I ask you to tell me what days of the week each of these requested dates is? Are they all Saturdays?
The April date is definitely a Saturday. This is from memory, so forgive me. I believe the May is the Sunday before Memorial Day. The 19th would be a Saturday. I believe the September 6th is the Sunday before Labor Day. October 10th would be the Saturday of Columbus Day weekend, and I'm not certain of the day for New Year's Eve.
That's a Thursday.
Thursday.
I'm very torn with this because many business people have emailed me and said, this is wonderful, we love it. It brings people into Beach Haven on these off-season days. But I do feel that it's a very small amount of chemical. But I do feel that we do have to somehow take some proactive, it's sort of like the plastics thing. I've been reading so much more about plastics, and we certainly haven't even done, we need to do so much more to eliminate those, and I just concerned, our environment is in such bad shape. I don't really, I think I could deal with the April one. It's earlier, the first half of April. I think May and June, I think are something that I'm concerned about because the nesting birds as well as spawning fish and that sort of thing. I don't have any trouble with the ones in the fall. I'm just, I think we need to talk to each person about
Sure.
it.
Understood?
I really love the concept of it, and I think it adds a lot to Beach Haven, and I think it's great for business. But I do think, I really don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference whether we do them or don't do them. But I think as a point of principle, I think we have to do whatever we can to try to protect the environment as much as possible. So that's my concern. That's up to the rest of you. I hope each person on council will be able to speak to this.
I have a question. I was under the impression that during the fireworks last year that there were many, there were not a lot of fireworks, that is the exploding type of fireworks, but there was more cherry bombs. There was like Big Bang types of, was that true or not true?
Yeah, I believe there was a good mix. I think the ones that are more ground-based that stay lower, I'm learning more about this each time, but are called cakes, and they're typically fired out of a box, but they'll only go a certain height. So towards the end, we tried to do more of the aerial displays so that it could be seen from further away, because if you weren't basically at Taylor Ave or at the end of 8th Street, you couldn't appreciate those cakes. They work really well for like the Harvey Cedars or Long Beach Township show when everybody's lined up at the beach watching, you have good sight line, but many people are watching from home, rooftops, restaurants, as well from inside the park. So we tried to get the elevation higher.
Brian, you
I
can
mean,
adjust that
and-
microphone. You're killing me.
Yeah.
Push it up.
I've tried it every time I've
The
come here.
orange should go with
There you
All
go.
right, very good.
Saving your back.
I don't know about that, but I mean,
It is an attraction the higher that they go. I mean, the people that are on the rooftop down at the yacht club or someplace south or north, if they see the fireworks going off and they're fairly high,
right.
then it'll draw them down, which I think is one of the issues.
Could you do the spring fireworks on the beach?
There's all regulations about the distance you need to be from housing. You
They
could.
do those in Harvey Cedars, you said, on the beach?
I don't know, but I'm just saying, no, those are all done from the water, but they do use the cakes. which are probably some of the prettiest fireworks, but they don't go very high.
No light show. Can't get a light show.
The issue with the light show, and we did some homework, and I still have more to do, frankly, is that you really need a fog element to see them well. So filling up the amusement park with fog is not really great from a safety perspective. It needs something to reflect the light. You need or building to project it on, and really nothing that would work well. I'm going to continue to dig on it because obviously we've added other amounts of entertainment, not quite that elaborate, but we're always looking at new
What did we
ideas.
approve last year? 4 or 5?
Fall.
I think it was 3 total, 3 or 4.
I think it was September,
Was it three?
October, November.
They were all in the fall, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Labor Day, Chowder Fest, and Take Fest.
We had, yes.
There were 4 of them.
Yeah, the Chowder Fest one wasn't really, having two that close together was really sort of defeated the purpose. That's why we tried to spread it out more. I came for 11 last year. It's like almost half. I'm listening.
Is there any way you could do the spring fireworks as a light display? I mean, try it, something different that wouldn't, affect the bay? I'm just trying to come up with some kind of compromise.
I will do more research. I just don't know that anybody will see it.
Yeah.
We're not voting tonight anyway. I just wanted to, before,
I know.
obviously we have to prepare everything and submit it.
No, we're not voting, but we still need to hear from the council if they support you. So I know you have a lot of applications to put in with
Yes.
Coast Guard and things like that. So we need some kind of consensus from council if he should put forth the effort. I mean, for which date?
Well, like I said previously, the Labor Day and the one in October and New Year's Eve, I don't really have a problem if I can compromise on that, but anytime in the springtime and early summer, I just feel that sometimes science is ignored, and you can't expect to have a barrage of chemicals, no matter how little. Over time, these are non-biodegradable, they're heavy metals, and they can bioaccumulate. And with all the stuff that we're doing to move the bay forward, I feel like we just have to set a precedent. And I have emailed back the businesses in support, and I also support you as a business, and I just explained to them a little of science, and they responded back to me, we didn't know that. We did a little research as well, and thank you for informing, but also, of course, still supporting you. So I just feel like I have to protect it in the spring. That's all.
Well, we used to have actually an event, a parade, something on Columbus Day weekend, the weekend after Chowder Fest. It was Mike Vituli, if you remember Mike, who actually brought that whole thing together. So I think Columbus is a good date.
Yeah, the intention with that date is it's Kites Fest weekend as well, so there's a lot of activity in the center of the island, and I want to make sure that we draw them down to Beach Haven.
I have no trouble with the ones in the fall. I can live with that. Technically, I think we probably should ban fireworks display on the 4th of July. That's causing more
I agree.
pollution than anything, but,
And this is a trend on the day. There's a lot more than just.
Don't let me be the guy that got rid of July 4th
No.
fireworks, please.
when I watch the fireworks on the 4th of July, you look across, you see them in Tuckerton, you see them in Parkertown, you see them far, all the way down to
Mayor, if you come to
Atlantic City.
15th Street, there's fireworks nightly, I promise. My dogs love them.
Oh, yeah.
At least these are scheduled, you can plan for them.
I could live with the one in April, as long as it's in the first half of April, but I think the May and June ones,
Brian, have you already missed the deadline for April applications?
It would be very difficult to make the April date. Doesn't mean we wouldn't try, but it's unlikely we'd be able to pull it off.
April is
But it's good to know for
slower
future.
weekends
Yeah.
and
Easter,
people are coming more for Easter and that sort of thing.
yeah, the idea was Easter was,
I know people love them. I've had more people come to me and say, oh, I just felt this, people that don't usually come down all season and say, oh, it seemed so festive, it was so exciting, they loved it. So I think it's a wonderful thing, and I think it's great of you to do it, because I know it costs a lot, but I am concerned about the the bay, and I mean, our whole environment's going down the tubes. And little by little, if everybody tried to make an effort, maybe we could bring it back. Dan?
Dan?
No, I have to defer to Jamie and Nancy with the early spring ones being vital to the day this morning. I'm not really in favor of those. I mean, it could last year. I'm more of a less and more kind of guy with fireworks.
I cut it in half, just a friendly reminder, half as many.
That might be Dan.
Yeah, I know you do, but at the same time, I see the effects, with small kids. You want to see if they get woken up, or animals have a real hard time with it. Sometimes less is more. But, that late season, September, October, New Year's Eve, I could,
Thanksgiving's fine too.
Right, I don't want to be the one to say July 4th. But could we do a July 4th and then like September, October, November?
We don't
July 4th
do,
is not
Brian
big.
doesn't do July 4th, that's another.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, you don't, that's right.
Listen, we'd be killed if we.
I'm agreeing to that one. That's, so then we take October.
And Brian's aren't nearly as elaborate as the July 4th.
they were pretty good.
They were pretty good though.
we were fine tuning as we went along.
I mean, I can't tell you how many people came to me. And friends of mine that, basically are here in the summer, come down all season. And when they did, they said, oh my God, it was just like so exciting to have this. So people love it. But I do think we have to think about this.
I need to hear a little more definite answer from Chuck and Tom.
I'm on the fence on that. I'd like to cut it down as much as I could, but I know you want to not, you're the one paying the price for it.
I think it's,
I do agree that spawning and things like that are critical. But,
I'm pro Columbus, and I guess I don't know enough about the spawning and the early
Birds.
birds.
Invertebrates, terrapins, oyster crabs.
Oyster crackers.
There are oyster crackers.
They're a type of bird.
Yes,
No,
right.
that's oyster catcher.
Yeah.
Right, you have some more work to do, so we're not going to go to that.
Brian,
I got it.
I think you've got
I
the
got,
answer.
I got a good idea.
You got a
Thank you.
feeling for it.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Mr. Crackers are things open and Mr.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, that's all I have.
So now we're opening the floor to public comment. So anybody who wants to go up and speak, can speak.
John Harvey, 211 Second Street, and just to offer maybe a different perspective on dealing with these issues like the environment, parking and traffic and the same thing, but we try to find, we deal with each solution individually, right? And so, we talked about carbon neutral, and Jim, you do my environmental challenger here. But, Brian, I think we've taken a very lax approach to overall environmental issues considering where we're located. So for example, plastic stores, single-use plastic bottles, and things like that. And I guess the question is, if you look at your business as having an environmental impact
John, are you talking to the mic?
on beachhead, I'm sorry, beachhead, that, is, I don't want to say a trade-off, I don't think it's a trade-off, but is there a broader look at this issue to say, listen, would we give Brian 5 or 6 days in exchange for going no plastic at the amusement park, or going with papers, going with recyclable takeout stuff. And some of the merchants are doing this on their own, as you know. But personally, I believe, other than following the lead of the township on the plastic bag ban, I think we've done very, very little as it relates to things that have both the plastic impact on the environment. And Coca-Cola right now is the largest producer of plastic in the world. So maybe, if you could come back, and I don't think you're doing all this stuff, but is there an opportunity to say, listen, 5 or 6 and this is the test, Jamie, you know, is there a trade-off for 5 or 6 fireworks days for a commitment to going fully, you know, recyclable within the next 2 years or something to that effect?
We do have an ordinance that bans plastic and styrofoam takeouts and straws.
Like
Just to take
styrofoam, straws, we ban straws, we ban plastic takeout.
Well, I would suggest then that the enforcement.
But there's
is-
more we can do.
No, and I'm going to suggest then that the enforcement should be picked up, if that's not the case in the stores and merchants. There are merchants that have plastic straws there. This weekend, plastic stores.
Well, I don't think we ban those little tiny straws.
Whatever, I'm just
There's
suggesting,
no-
put
there's-
aside the, you know, my opinion about our environmental fortitude, and I'm just suggesting there's a different way of looking at these types of issues.
That's a good point. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Lori Henderson, 1001 West Avenue, New Haven. I need to ask you guys, like the last Monday's meeting, land use meeting at at the LBI Museum, I actually had to leave because I couldn't hear anything. You know, so many people were like speaking into their microphones, and I wasn't the only one that left because I couldn't hear. And I saw George Salazar in the back of the room going like, you know, trying to signal somebody, like talking in microphones. And I even asked Tom, could you go ask these guys to, I'm totally deaf in one ear. So I'm just gonna ask that when we have a room full of people, you know, try to get a cue from somebody in the back, look around or ask somebody in the back of the room to do anything, you know, like, we can't hear you, do something.
Well, I was there, Lori, and I must have asked 10 times for people to speak into the microphone, because I have hearing aids, and I'm hard of hearing.
Yeah.
That's why I have this thing, and these work great. But unfortunately, we have some of these for this room, but they have to be for a specific room, and they're fantastic. But I must have asked 10 times or more, and like, there are some of those people, I couldn't hear it. I mean, I really had to strain, and I'm afraid on the front. So I understand exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
And all I can say is, we need somebody, and it's hard to see in the back of the room. I mean,
Well, I was sitting on the side and I
Yeah,
couldn't, like,
it's hard to
you know,
see.
like,
yeah, somebody, maybe we can come up with somebody in the back with a signal flag. So when they can't hear, they can wave the flag and we can, because it is, we really need to.
I know I'm the only one.
And you really have to talk right into the microphone.
Not too much, because then it gets blurry.
Well, I have a little loud voice, not everybody can hear me.
Well, anyway, it's just a little something, but thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Ann Smith, 204 Second Street. Going back to banning plastics and such, Mr. Padula,
Yes.
is that ordinance a Beach Haven ordinance?
Yes.
Does it include styrofoam?
Yes.
And
For
who-
takeout.
It doesn't include, like, if I get, medical supplies come to me a lot now, and sometimes they're packed in styrofoam.
Right.
It doesn't include that, it just includes
That's
business.
fine.
Yes.
No, I just know that, who enforces this? Is somebody going out to our restaurants and saying, you gotta get rid of that styrofoam? Because I live by the Chegg, and let me tell you, if I've seen one, I see piles of styrofoam coming out of there. And it's
They
really
have
bad.
changed, they were using paper the last time, they
Okay.
just started, obviously, this year. But because he came in and he was upset about it because he said it took so much longer to pack up the takeouts. But they are using all paper, no styrofoam. Now, I haven't seen a problem, and
Yeah.
I go in there occasionally.
We did it every week. There was no styrofoam.
There was no styrofoam, okay. Well,
I don't
that's
think
good
anymore.
news to me.
I mean, Barry's doesn't use it, Buckaloo's doesn't use it.
Yeah, no Barry's.
I mean, if I were to go to somewhere and see styrofoam, I would call our code enforcement person and have them go talk to them, but I haven't we've only had this ordinance in place since May or June.
Yeah.
So,
Liz,
but I think most people have complied.
Oh, okay, all righty.
I mean,
Just
it's
keep an
not that-
eye out.
Yeah, you let us know.
Yeah, let us know, because,
I feel very strongly about this environment too here, you know.
Well, the kids
What's
go to the
happening,
beach
you
and
know, I
like
mean,
clothes.
anything we can do, I mean, everyone needs to support.
well, there's
Yes.
a wonderful article I mean, it's very depressing, but it's a wonderful article in Rolling Stone magazine called Planet Plastic. And it really, basically, we all think we're doing our bit by recycling. Only about 2% of the stuff we recycle actually gets recycled. Only 2%. It's incredible.
I read every article I can get my hands on. If you get National Geographic, which we have for years, oh my God, if you read about plastic pollution in our world, it's
And now,
scary.
like, for example, Portland is taking styrofoam and they're creating like solo cups and stuff out of it. But and Portland's really far ahead as a state in recycling and environmental stuff. But basically what happens though, the residue, and a lot of people are burning plastic now, and they're calling it the green coal, but it causes so many, carbon, it creates more of a problem with carbon in the atmosphere of global warming. So, I mean, there's just no answer. There's no answer to this that I mean, somebody really brilliant has to come along, and we just need to get,
And with all our restaurants and takeouts and being a resort area especially, we have to be really be on the ball.
Well, I think we are in Beach Haven, the township, Stafford has a pretty,
Right.
yeah. But I'll tell you, a lot of states, and this is really upsetting, not New Jersey, but a lot of states have put bans on the bans. So if you are in a state like Tennessee and your little town, community bans plastic, the state says you can't do that. And in many, many states.
And a lot of countries actually have people that watch. I mean, like you go to like Norway, or you read about how they have people policing people,
Europe is way
make
ahead
sure
of
that
us.
they're recycling right. So, but we need to do as much as we can. And thank you.
Yeah, no problem. The ordinance for plastic bags was adopted in 2018 in August, and then it was expanded to straws and styrofoam in October of last year.
That's great. Okay, I wasn't sure about that. But thank you.
And congratulations to the Hawkeyes.
Yes.
Wrestling.
Anybody else like to come forward and speak? Okay, nobody else, so I am closing the floor to public comment. And so we have last comments by council. Do you want to start, Chuck?
Nope, I'm finished for the day.
I'm going right by me. I'm good.
Dan?
Welcome back, Dan.
Yeah, it's happy to be back. And
You look nice and tan.
Yeah, thanks. It'll be gone in 3 days.
I don't know, it was like, I was up in Philadelphia, it was in the 70s.
I don't really have anything.
Jamie?
Not much, just that I just feel like there wasn't really an off season. There was no winter, and I feel like every weekend was busy. I know Fantasy Island is busy every weekend, and now the big I'm gonna win that Ireland trip. I'm gonna be there. They have.
Vote no.
I'm gonna have to win, actually, try to win the Irish Ireland trip. But I don't know if it's a mild winter, but the restaurants are happening, the weekends are busy. I think people really enjoy just the time away. So I'm grateful for that and for the businesses. And that's all I have to say.
I agree with Jamie, people say, what do you do down there all winter long? And I'm like, I'm busy every minute. I mean, the Lighthouse Film Festival has a lot of, there's just tons to do. And it has been a very busy year. I think it's wonderful. Anyway, I was supposed to fly to Ireland tomorrow, but I don't think that's going to happen. So unfortunately,
You have insurance?
yeah, no. And Aer Lingus has not, they told me I could reschedule the flights for an extra $420. So and I can't even get through to them now, it's impossible. Everybody's in the same boat, so it's a mess. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I feel sorry for myself. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, thank you.